Yo, what's good, my little lost search, my little lost sweethearts, my little lost sweetie pies? Today we're playing Midnightevil. It, I didn't sleep at all last night. I went to sleep at 9:30 in the morning, and I decided I don't know what to play. Why not a bedtime story? Maybe it'll help me fall asleep. Maybe you put me on in the background, it'll help you fall asleep. I don't know, but this is what we're playing today. Oh, my ear. As the clock approached midnight. Also, it's gonna help me in my reading skills. William Crinkle was fast asleep. William Crinkle? That's your name? That's a dumb name. I'm tired. Bing bong. Tonight was different though. So I have to read very clearly into this mic. He woke to a strange sound coming from the attic. What the heck is that thing? Is that a portrait you have? I'm ready for the next slide. As he climbed the stairs, he felt something. What do you feel? Scared? William Crinkle, can you move faster? He had never seen this chest before. I got a chest you've never seen. I'm sorry. Just an innocent book. Tonight his life would change forever. I got my glasses on. I got plus 10 reading skills right now. Nathan Sanders presents. Midnightevil. Alright. Alright, my little lost hearts. I want you to tone the lights down. Tone them down, turn them down, turn them down. Sit in a nice dark room. And let me read you a bedtime story. What do I do? Oh, I move. Oh, ooh, I don't like this. Ooh, how do I? Preface. Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land that was ruled by what many would call the Fae. Did, did I not read it? Long before the first humans stood upright and took their place in the world, there was a beautiful land that was ruled by what many would come to call the Fae. Oh, my bad, I didn't say come. These ancient beings were worshipped by mankind, but they were also feared. They also feared humans were right to be afraid, for there were many different creatures that lived in the darkness watching us waiting. Hello? Humans were right to be afraid, for there were many different creatures that lived in the darkness watching us waiting. Most were harmless enough, amusing themselves by causing mischief and playing pranks on humans that crossed their paths. However, some had more sinister intentions. The Urkling hello? Saws. The Urkling, for example, have developed a liking for the taste of human children. These monsters are okay. I'm about to say, I didn't know if it picked it up. These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. These monsters are small, unnaturally fast, and impossible to kill. Gah! It was an it was an unlikely tragedy for my people that we decided to build our village here, right in the middle of the Urkling's territory. We have lost so many of our children over this past year, there aren't enough tears in this world to weep for their loss. Yes. Thankfully, though, my grandmother taught me well in the ways of my druid ancestors. I may not be able to kill the little beast, but I will be able to work out a spell that binds them to this book. Am I supposed to be doing something? Yo, shoes? I can only hide it and pray that it never falls into the hands of a child. Oh my god, a child. If you are reading this, know that I'm truly sorry for the demons that have now been passed on to you. If you are reading this, know that I am truly sorry for the demons that have now been passed on to you. Opening the book will have awakened them, and I'm sure they will be ravenously hungry. Okay. Once the book is open, you must read it out loud from beginning to end in order to return them to their magical prison. Be watchful. They only attack if you don't see them coming. Most importantly, once you finish this book, keep it hidden so that no one ever opens it again. Ta-da! Bro, I suck at reading.
WIGSFM 98.7 Game Talk. Hello, darkness.
Yo.
My name is Nick Gloom.
Gloom.
It's just me tonight.
I'm William Crinkle.
As you guys know, we answer game questions and talk tips and tricks.
What game we talking about then?
Well, Nate usually does. I don't really play most of those games.
What you play? Monopoly?
Anyway, let's get to the phones. First caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Nick. I'm wondering, how do I beat the final boss in Terminator Destruction?
Did this man
How
just
would
say
I know
Terminator?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm stuck here working for crap money. I still can't afford to buy new Atari games. Would you like me to page Nate?
I don't
Here's
know.
the thing. Like I said, I'm working here. I don't usually come on the radio. So, I don't have as much of a bedside manner as Nate does. But it's totally fine. I bought a new OBasic book, which is the programming language for Atari, since I can't afford to buy my own Atari games, and I'm working on my own homebrew game.
Man, your life
The
sounds
pending title
tragic.
is Evil Midnight.
We're playing Midnightevil.
I'm not sure what you're going to have to do yet, but I think it's going to be a horror game, and it's going to be at nighttime, and it's going to be evil.
And it's gonna be
Basically,
evil. Sounds
you
good, I'd buy
would
it.
do something all night, and then you would win.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like working here. I try to keep my head down all night, but
Yeah.
Janet asked me to go on the air, and I'm always getting asked to do stuff.
Yeah, that's life.
The more stuff I get asked to do, the more I get anxious and panic.
That's on
It's
you.
a vicious cycle.
Is this
You need to
some
go
kind
therapy.
of life lesson?
Yeah, I think
just
so.
want to play Terminator.
Same, bro.
Here's the thing.
I'm just trying. Here's the thing, and then he cuts us off. That man says, is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch? We got the striped pajamas, bro. I'm the boy in the striped pajamas. What? Iron Deficiency Gang, stand up. Like, what the hell? Chapter 1. Little Maggie O'Brien? Little Maggie O'Brien was the first. The children had been playing and... I better relax. The children had been playing in Hogan's Forest when they all heard a noise. Sensing no danger because there were so many, did the door just open? Oh, snap! That man said, sensing no danger because there were so many of them. 12 children in all decided to investigate the source of the strange sound. Why did I get like a massive headache and my fucking eyes start bleeding? Where you get that candle? Five Below? Not Five Below. Bath and Body Works? White Barn? As they all searched high and low, they soon realized that Maggie was missing. Frantically, they began searching for their friend. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Frantically, they began searching for their friend. She was a small girl who liked to play hide and seek. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. She was a small girl who loved to play hide and seek. Oh my gosh, she was... Oh, they got it. Finally. Any more? Her big brother... Do I need an inhaler? Her big brother Colin is... I don't get it. Why was that? What is that? Like, is he having a mini heart attack? Her big brother Colin, her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling. Yo, oh my god. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her. Nah, I read that right. Her big brother Colin insisted that she was probably hiding somewhere safe and giggling to herself as she watched everyone search for her. Yo, even the monsters are probably laughing at me like, damn, you can't read? The sun sank low in the sky and the forest grew dark. The children, frustrated and panicked, ran back to the village to alert their parents that little Maggie was nowhere to be found. That's when everyone lit torches and spread out through the woods calling her name. Is that little guy gonna come back? The little girl's mother sobbed desperately as we all inspected every corner of those woods in hopes of finding her. Her brother kept searching, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I'm her big brother," he said, rubbing his eyes. "I'm supposed to make sure nothing happens to her." Oh. Bruh? Bro? "It's not your fault, Colin," I assured him. "We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear." We'll find her soon, and she'll be no worse for the wear. He nodded, forced a smile, and we all continued looking. The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. What? Am I not reading this right? The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. I'm gonna lose my mind. The moment I heard him scream, I knew he had found her. Or rather, what was left of her, which wasn't much. We were sure it was Maggie, because she had worn her favorite hair bow that day. We were sure it was Maggie because she had worn her favorite hair bow that day. Her father plucked the pink ribbon from the body and fell to his knees, wailing into the darkness. Poor Colin tried to tell us then. He said that she had been covered in what he described as little green men. They were fat and green, he stammered, with bright glowing eyes. Yo? With bright glowing eyes. They were biting off bits of skin and flesh. No one believed the lad. We all attributed the horrible ordeal to a hungry wild animal. Of course, what else could it possibly be? Scooping up what remained of little Maggie, the townsfolk set to work preparing for her funeral. Hello? 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 Bro? Hello? Bro? Whoa? We had no idea the horrors that lay ahead. I thought to myself, how strange her wounds looked. I couldn't help but think back to what Colin had said about the little green men. It made me think of the stories my grandmother used to tell me. She said that our druid ancestors spoke of tiny creatures that lived long ago in the swamps and marshes surrounding our lands. The Urklings, she called them. The Urklings, she called them. There were 3 tribes, each being their own breed of evil. One tribe, I recall she said, were green and fat. They would lure children away from safety and feast on their flesh. We didn't live near any swamps. Surely, the boy's mind was playing tricks on him. Besides, the Urklings weren't real. They couldn't be. They couldn't be. Yo, I hate how you have to actually take the pause. Wanna get to listen to the radio? Life, death, life, death, life. I'm sorry. Chapter 2. Maggie O'Brien's funeral was just what anyone expected. Back up. Everyone did their best to comfort the grieving parents. Colin kept to himself. Everyone assured it was because he blamed himself. After his sister had been laid to rest, I came to him to ask him how he was doing. Bro, he looked like my dog at the end of the bed. He looked up at me, eyes red from either crying, lack of sleep, or a combination of the two, and said, "I really saw them, the little green monsters." My heart ached as I put my arms around the boy. I kept telling myself that seeing his little sister in pieces couldn't have been easy for him. He was just in shock. The stories of the Earthlings were only told to scare children into doing what they were told. That was all. The stories of the Earthlings were only told to scare children into doing what they were told. That was all. The first thing my grandmother told me about the Earthlings was that there were 3 tribes. The green ones had round bellies and piercing blue eyes. She said they could be heard if you walked deep into the swamp at night. What are they on my ceiling? Imagine they just riding the ceiling fan. They would laugh and sing as they danced around their tiny campfires. Which would appear only as tiny flickering lights through the trees. They were the least lethal of the 3 tribes, but every bit as evil. The red ones were more temperamental and even faster than their green cousins. They didn't sing or dance around campfires, and their celebrations were a bit more gruesome. They preferred to eat children from the inside out. Yo? How do you eat someone from the inside out, bro? I'm just thinking of something dirty. It was even thought by some that they were only red because they... Oh my god. It was even thought by some that they were only red because they were stained by the blood of their victims. That's alright, he just want to do some laundry for me, that's alright. Fiery red bristle-like hair sprouted from the tops of their heads, and their glowing yellow eyes seemed cold and calculating. The pale Earthlings were in another class altogether. They had white skin and wild, untamed blue hair that flowed out in every direction. The most unsettling thing about them was that they had no eyes at all. Yet, they somehow were the most keen and efficient killers of the 3. Oh my god! Ooh, sir! Grandmother said that there's... Oh my god! That made me jump a little bit. Grandmother said that their long, wiry hair would somehow sense the presence and locations of children. There were some things that all 3 tribes had in common. Earthlings preferred to eat after midnight and would only attack if the child didn't make direct eye contact with them. I reassured myself that the O'Brien girl being attacked barely after sunset meant that she had to have been the victim of a wild animal attack. A few of the men in the village came together to hunt down the beast that killed the girl. They came back 2 days later carrying the carcass of a large wolf. Oh, buddy! What the hell? They came back 2 days later carrying the carcass of a large wolf. The whole village breathed a sigh of relief, and a big celebration was held. The only one besides myself that remained anxious was Colin. Looking at his face that night, I knew that he believed the creature that killed Maggie were still out there waiting. He was right. Goodness.
WIGS FM 98.7 Game Talk.
Hello, darkness.
Yo,
Welcome
darkness,
to the
my
top
old
of
friend.
the hour. Again, I'm your host, Nick Gloom,
Nice to
filling in
meet
for
you.
Nate tonight.
Again,
That
I'm
was an
Wilbur,
interesting hour,
Yankerman,
I must
Jensen,
say.
Wobble Bobble.
I don't know, Janet. I feel like these kids don't like me.
No,
Hey, Janet, do you like me?
bro, you trying to rizz up
And
Janet?
she's walking away, folks.
You good?
Anyway, caller, you're on the air.
Hey Nick, just calling in, wanted to say that you suck.
I just had a feeling that that was coming. I feel like I'm not as approachable as Nate is.
I think you're jealous of Nate, bro.
Oh yeah, so anyway, I forgot there's a sponsor slot I was supposed to fill last hour. This one goes out to all you greasy, pizza-faced listeners.
Freddy Fazbear? Har.
Are you tired of popping pimples?
I'm just tired.
Ew, gross. Do some zits appear over and over and you have to keep popping them?
No.
Gross. Kind of like that popular video game, Mole Whacker?
Sure.
From the creators of Simple Pimple
Simple
comes
pimple.
the revolutionary cream, Pimple Buster.
Ew.
The all-in-one, scientifically formulated pimple-destroying cream. Call 155-PIM-PLES.
Cinco. Accidente
But hurry
olvidado.
before supplies run out. That's 155-PIMPLES.
Cinco.
You know, Janet, I think Evil Midnight could use some Mole Whacker inspiration. Something to keep the player on their toes.
Uh-huh.
Or at least that last prank caller could drink some of that Pimple Buster.
Damn.
I don't know what it is.
This man hates life. I don't know how many chapters there is, but I guess we'll do chapter 3 and then I'm done. I'm gonna take a nap. Maybe eat some chicken tendies, maybe some Tostino rolls, who knows? The next day, Maggie's mother visited her daughter's grave, discovering something that was more than a little strange. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had clawed its way. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had clawed its way out. I couldn't help but remember what grandmother said about the red Erklings. Huh? The next day, Maggie's mother visited her daughter's grave, discovering something that was more than a little strange. The earth on the grave was disturbed as if something had clawed its way out. I couldn't help but remember what grandmother had said about the red Erklings. They would burrow inside their victims and eat their way out. Could it be that we brought a whole tribe of them right into the village without even knowing it? The answer would come soon enough. Jacob McLaurin was found torn to shreds in his bed the following morning. Obviously, a wild animal hadn't attacked him inside his own house. Another devastated family and another funeral this soon after Maggie's didn't sit well with anyone. Another devastated family and another funeral this soon after Maggie's didn't sit well with anyone. The atmosphere became even more tense and uncomfortable. I insisted on inspecting Jacob's remains myself, to reassure myself that there was nothing hiding inside. I insisted on inspecting Jacob's remains myself to reassure myself that there was nothing hiding inside. Colin approached me afterwards, asking what I was looking for. I told him it was nothing, but he knew better. You believe me about the monsters, don't you? His young face was determined as he spoke. You're the only one that doesn't look at me like I'm crazy. I swallowed hard, started to deny it, but the words caught in my throat, and as much as I tried, I couldn't lie. Listen, I put my hands on his shoulders. I don't think you're crazy, but we need to be sure of what we're... I don't think you're crazy, but we need to be sure of what we're dealing with before we spark a full-blown panic. Tell me exactly what happened. Colin took a deep breath, working up his nerve. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. Oh my. Bro. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. I called her name over and over. She didn't answer. It was so dark, but I had a good torch. I called her name over and over. She didn't answer. Then I heard something. It sounded like chewing. It sounded like chewing. It sounded like chewing. Do I actually have to look at the book to... It sounded like chewing. Yep. They're going so hard right now. What the hell? I took a few more steps and saw her laying there. All over her were these fat little green monsters. All over her were these fat little green monsters. They had mouths full of pointy teeth that looked like needles and massive clawed hands. Just then a twig snapped under my foot and they all stopped what they were doing and looked right at me. That's when I screamed and they scattered. Nah, I see you. I see you, stupid. I see you, stupid. I'm looking right at you, stupid. Y'all need to relax. No. No. They were gone before any of the grown-ups got to me. His eyes filled with tears at the memory. Please tell me what they are. Bro. Yo. He was no more than 11 or 12, having just lost his sister and now his friend. No one had believed him when he tried to tell us before. It couldn't have been easy, but he opened up to me. I felt it right that I tell him what I knew. I felt it only right that I tell him what I knew. I felt it only right that I tell him what I knew? We sat together by the bonfire late into the night, and I told him all the old stories. Unfortunately, the one thing that my grandmother hadn't mentioned was how to get rid of them. That thing we planned. Looking into the flames, I got an idea. I know that most unholy creatures were repelled by fire. Well, Colin folded his arms. Why is this kid having mini heart attacks, bro? I'm just looking up. You really got an iron deficiency? We will just have to test what happens to an Earthling when it's on fire. We send these motherfuckers on fire, I'm blazing this shit up. Lava lamp. Alright, I'll do one more. One more chapter. What's this, chapter 4? Let's get it. Fix the glasses. Colin wanted to tell his friends about the Urklings, but I begged him to keep it a secret. What in the... We just started. Hold up. If anyone knew that my grandmother had passed down her druid teaching, it would only take one person to scream witch, and I'll be as good as dead. He agreed and kept my secret. So, yeah, y'all gonna be aggressive now. I mixed a potion that would catch fire when touched by the tiniest flame. Shh. Anybody else want to peer? Huh? Surely this would send it screaming to the underworld. What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh my god! Bro, you listening to the bedtime story? Huh? I looked him in his fucking eye! Colin wanted to tell his friends about the Urklings, but I begged him to keep it a secret. If anyone knew that my grandmother had passed on her druid teachings, it would only take one person to scream witch, and I would be as good as dead. He agreed and kept my secret. I mixed a potion that would catch fire when touched by the tiniest flame. Surely, this would send it screaming to the underworld. He sat quietly in his bed and waited, knowing he mustn't look them in the eye. He must let it attack, for this would be the only way to get close to it. Just after the stroke of midnight, he began to hear them chuckling and shuffling around in the dark. Clutching the potion bottle, hands trembling, he lowered his gaze and braced himself. Sure enough, one of them leapt from his bookshelf and sank its teeth into the flesh of his arm. He screamed and unstopped the bottle, emptying the contents over the green Urkling. It tore a tiny round chunk from his arm and gulped it down just as Colin shoved the candle right into its face. It lit up like a torch and made a horrific high-pitched scream as it ran around the room trying to put itself out. The curtains caught fire as 4 more Urklings sprung out from their hiding places. Colin ran outside, screaming and cradling his blood-soaked arm. His parents soon joined him outside in a panic, trying to figure out what had happened. Oh my god. Just then a tiny fireball came racing through the doorway and zigzagged towards the woods. Collect yourself, kid. I grabbed an empty glass jar from my cupboard and ran after it. The jar made a thunk sound as it landed over the flaming Urkling, and the fire quickly went out. To my horror, the thing wasn't dead. It didn't even look like it was dying. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Though it blackened from being set ablaze, it was just as spunky as ever. Though it blackened from being set ablaze, it was just as spunky as ever. I quickly scooped up the jar and screwed the lid on. As I made my way back, some of the villagers were trying to put out the fire inside the house, and others were tending to Colin's arm, telling him that it must have been a rat. Yo, please, 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 guys, please, please. I've never seen a rat quite like this, I shouted and held the jar up high so everyone could see. The instant they all looked in my direction, the jar was dropped open and Colin's face lit up for the first time since he'd lost his sister. I can't read no more. My throat's getting dry. He knew everyone finally saw that. He had been telling the truth all along, and they all felt terribly ashamed for not believing him in the first place. Nope. I'm looking at you, bro. Y'all not gonna do this to me. Unfortunately, the joy of this small victory was short-lived. For over the next 3 days, we tried every method we could think of to kill the little wretch. But no matter what horrific thing we did, it wouldn't die. Are you serious? Is there more? Oh, bro, I did it.
WIGS-FM 98.7
Oh, my neck.
Game Talk.
Hello, darkness.
Yo, my old friend.
I'm your host, Nick Gloom, in
Aight.
for Nate tonight.
I don't know
as
who
we
I am
dive
anymore.
deep into Game Talk.
Wow.
Sorry about those technical issues we experienced last hour.
Bro, I want a quarter pounder from McDonald's.
I think
Hurry
Janet
up.
might have fallen asleep. For those of you that missed it, we were having an interesting discussion about game difficulty and learning curves.
This game is hard,
You know,
and I
Nate
can't
likes
read
Dragons and Dungeons, but apparently I'm dumb for thinking it's too difficult.
D&D.
Apparently, kids can play it.
Uh-huh.
So what do I know?
Bro, you sound
Kinda
miserable.
like my work in progress, Evil Midnight, which, as I mentioned earlier, if you weren't around, is going to be more of a horror game.
Evil.
I'm not really sure, but I would imagine in a game like that, confusing the player could be an evil tactic.
Okay.
Something like grooming them up to expect one thing,
Grooming?
and then yank the rug out, so to speak. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hello, caller, you're on Game Talk.
They hung up, bro. They don't want to hear you no more. You yap a lot.
Must have lost him. Hello, caller, you're on Game Talk.
Oh.
Very funny, guys.
Bro screams after him.
Caller, you're on Game Talk.
Ghostface about to ask him, what's your favorite scary movie? Oh, well, I guess he's gone. He's gone, and we're never going to hear from him again. My ceiling fan is not doing any work. I don't feel a breeze. What is it? Does lights? That was the first 4 chapters of Midnightevil. I am slightly more awake because of those stupid jump scares. But, you know, whatever. I'm gonna go take a nap, and then I'm gonna wake up, and maybe I'll go to McDonald's and get me a quarter pounder. I don't know. I'm sleepy. Maybe I'll drink 3 cups of coffee today, possibly 5. If you enjoyed your story time, I gotta sneeze. And it went away. Oh, that's depressing. Dang it! Well, I hope you enjoyed your story time. I'm sorry that I can't read at all. We're gonna finish this game. I don't know how many chapters there are, but we're gonna finish it, alright? So, if you had a good time, come back to the next one. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, good night, no heart, out.